Hey everybody, Stephen Burns here. I want to address this addiction to color that I'm seeing out here. And in other words, a lot of digital artists or even photographers will utilize or work their images by working the color and feeling that that is enhancing the image. And what I would like to do is give shed some light on a different approach and a different perspective. I say apply your manipulations using values. Now, my background came from the old darkroom days, the film and developer, where I developed my 4x5 negatives using zone system techniques with D76 1-to-1 dilution for my normal developments, or my D76 straight for my N+1 or my push developments. I use HC110 from time to time to push it plus 3 stops or 4 stops. Now, I'm working in black and white film days. So I learned my craft through understanding values. And by understanding those values, they helped me to understand color better. So take a look at the image here. I have a layer group here is labeled black and white. Inside the black and white, I have a series of black and white images that's producing something that's going to create the color image to look like this. Okay, so I have greater texture, more depth, a lot more expressive than what we saw here. Okay, so that's before and after. Before and after. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me share with you what's happening here. I applied a layer blend mode to this black and white group. I'm going to take it off of luminosity and we're going to place it on to normal. This is what I've done. Now let's go open up the group and let's turn everything off, and I'm going to go layer by layer to explain what I was thinking and why I was applying these particular techniques. I started off by altering the image to black and white and allowing this to be a much more deeper gray, a little bit deeper than a medium gray, just so I can maintain texture and have a way to add more contrast without losing the details of my highlights. Okay, that's fine and good. I duplicated the layer, but I brightened it up. Simply apply the simple curves. And let's turn it on. Now, I applied a mask so that brightened aspects of it would only be applied to the paper, the torn paper on the left-hand side. Alright, so already I'm starting to get some depth. I'm pulling away this information from the areas on the right-hand side. And this large negative space here is being broken up by the secondary compositional element. Alright, well, I love what's going on here, but I want this little half rectangle to be my primary subject. This shape here is competing with it. So let's go ahead and get in a little closer. You can see what I'm going to do. So I apply a curve. Let's target the curves. I simply flattened it by bringing the highlights down and also bringing down the midtones, and watch what's going to happen. Target it before and after. Before and after. I flattened it out so that these luminous areas wouldn't compete with the texture and detail happening everywhere else in the image. Okay, I wanted there to be information there, but I wanted no competition with it. Alright, fine. Let's go ahead and pull this out and keep going. Let's go up to the next one here. Now, I'm going to turn this one on and off. Now, if you take a look, what's happening here is I like what's going on with the darker areas, but I felt I needed more depth, more richness in here to help push these midtones and these brighter tones forward even more. So turn it on, there it is, and before. So after and before. Let's go down to the one on the bottom. I also applied it right down in here, and after, before, and after. Gives it more detail and more richness. So I'm going to pull it back. Let's go ahead and assess it. Looking pretty good. A lot better than before. Let's go right on up here. But, you know, this is falling off with a lot of detail. It's gone. So it's still a little rich. And detail's not gone really. It's lots of detail there. It's just hard to see it. So I applied a curves adjustment layer to pull out all the midtones, so I brightened it up. There it is. Okay, and I applied the mask so that only that shape was being targeted. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this on out. All right, it's looking pretty good. Now, I'm looking at the larger area here where I originally kept it fairly, a little bit deeper than the medium gray. So I used another duplicated the layer, but this time applied a color dodge to it. And what the color dodge did was it brightened it up, but not only that, it added some extra snap and contrast and detail. So before and after, before and after. Now that's what I was looking for in a black and white image. Now, once I have the black and white image, I want to tell Photoshop to replace these values here. In fact, what do these values actually look like? Duplicate that layer, Command J, and Command Shift U. There. That's what they look like. Now, let's compare it to this one. See? Big difference. So, this is what you get if you simply desaturate. This is what you get if you apply a little bit more work into it. All right, when we can, for another tutorial, we can get into the specifics of this. But let's go ahead and turn this off. Now, I want to replace, and I'm going to delete this as well. I'm going to utilize these values to replace these values, okay? So let's do it. Ignore the color. That's what this luminosity blend mode is going to do, and replace the values. There. Look at that. It jumps. So before and after, before and after. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I was hoping to do something that got you to think a little bit differently in how you approach your image enhancements. So don't forget to join my site with Facebook and Twitter. I'm over at chromillusion.com. Also, don't forget to come on over to the tutorial section. All the rest of the layers tutorials I've ever done right here. Come over here and check it out. Once again, at chromillusion at Twitter, or you can come over to facebook.com/chromillusion. I'm Stephen Burns. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.